Hi, everyone. Happy Wicked Wednesday.
Happy Wicked Wednesday.
How is everyone today? I hope it's been a fantastic Wednesday.
It's a little bright.
And we can just cap it off together.
It's a little bright.
It's a little bright.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Take it.
I'll give you a shove. How's that?
I'm hurting from leg day on Monday. Okay. It's always the second day.
It always is.
All those squat thrusts that you ask for.
Well, of course.
You know.
How is everybody? Yeah, we look yellow tonight too. It's very strange. That's better. Okay, that's better. I feel like we're having like mood lighting. It's so strange. You think you should like extra light, but honestly, y'all, when we do, it just I look
well,
like
it's
I
also
disappeared.
your walls too.
Because they're white-ish.
I don't know.
Okay. Sure.
No, I don't know.
Can you get in, sir? Are you having struggles?
I'll let you know when I'm in.
Okay.
Surprised you don't know already. Anyway. Hi, Shayla Black.
But Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Wicked Wednesday. I am, as always, your author host.
Your mistress of the evening.
Yes, your author host, New York Times, USA Today, best-selling author Shayla Black, and you are
Mr. Fleetwood Mac, as I said on the TikTok.
Also known as William Black.
Bill Black, yes. Will Black, Tad Black. Does Tad have a last name?
I don't think we ever gave Tad a last name.
Half the people that are here do not know who Tad was.
I know.
Because apparently Tad died. And Lance. Apparently they're both gone.
Well, because
they have been written. They don't have any writers anymore. The writers went on strike and never came back.
Also, maybe Margot offed them because she was tired of listening to them whine.
I think Margot fucked them to death. That's just me. I don't know. I think she fucked them to death.
Zinger. Are you saying Margot's a horrible human being?
I think Margot knows how to work her assets, and she tore those guys into the bed. That's what I think.
Well, you know.
Exactly.
Margot has needs.
That's right. She messed him up good.
That's right. Well, you don't look too broken up about it.
I have no idea. I was forced to watch. I was tied to a chair and forced to watch.
Oh, you poor thing. I feel so sorry for you.
And you were what they call riding the rodeo cowboy. Yes, exactly.
Who feels sorry for him? Anybody? Nobody? I didn't think so. Oh, my God. Anyway. So, welcome to Wicked Wednesday.
So that's how it goes around here. She's inappropriate, and I have to clean things up.
Oh my! You're the one to drop the F-bomb. Don't look at me.
You know what? But that was my political protest.
Okay.
Against censorship.
Okay.
That was that.
I'm sure that's exactly what it wasn't.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh! Hi, Nikki. Hi, Susan.
And scene.
Hey, Dana. Good to see you. Yes, Susan. Hit the like button. Appreciate you guys.
Please smash that like button. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, Tabitha, and thank you for joining us over on Tickety Talkety. How are you?
T squared.
T squared. Yeah.
T squared.
Does that make you sound cool now?
Well, I am IRL.
You are.
I am on fleek. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
As the kids call it.
No, not anymore.
I'm on fleek.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Fong. Hey, Brenda. Good to see you.
Damn.
That's so like over a dozen years ago. Just stop.
It's over a dozen years ago.
Hi, Beverly.
I just learned it.
Well,
it can be over now.
Hi, Christina.
You know how much practice that took?
Oh my gosh.
Saying.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Laura and Tracy and Christine. Thank you for being on TikTok. How are you, Louise? It's good to see you, and happy Wicked Wednesday to you.
Happy
Wicked Hey, Nicole. Wednesday. Hi to Eric. I hope you guys are doing good.
Serious, William.
Oh,
yes.
My.
I'm
so
master
serious.
of the serious.
That's right.
Master
hey,
of the serious.
Kelly. How are you, my friend? How are things up in the Canada?
About certain things.
How are things up in the Canada? I hope they're good. Dana loves your shirt.
Thank you, Dana. I just found it. It was in the closet.
Which was a Christmas present.
Which was a Christmas gift that I lost. So
You're welcome.
It's being worn. It fits my bosom quite well. So
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My manly chest.
Your manly chest. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my.
Thank you for joining us on TikTok also, Virginia. Appreciate that. Hey, Rhonda and Janine. Ames.
I swear, every time we get back together on Wednesdays, it feels like it's been 2 weeks.
I don't know what that is.
It doesn't seem like it was just a week ago.
I know.
Oh, but wait, then Shannon shows up. It has been a week.
You are so funny. You are so funny.
There's the talent, and then there's Charlie. Yes, exactly.
That's right. Let's see. Hi, Vicky. You're doing good. Yay. Watching out for a storm. Hope it doesn't hit you too hard. I know how that goes.
You are just
creamy. That's okay. People don't like moist. I'm not a fan of creamy. Just saying.
Depends on the context.
Thank you, Louise. This is I'm still trying to figure out how to do it after she cut it kind of thing.
We should just have a really dirty YouTube one night.
Okay.
Just really talk dirty.
And then what?
I mean, doity.
Okay.
But that would have to have a sign up because I wouldn't want to offend anybody.
Old age is a bitch. Yes, it is, Eve. Yes,
Tell me about it, Eve. Tell me about it.
Rumors is one of your favorite albums.
Rumors is the album.
It's so amazing.
It is the
album.
I'm
impressed, Ames, that you know of it even, much less love it to that degree, because so many, like, I talk to people under 40 about music and they look at me blankly and I'm like, yeah.
Baby knows Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, she loves it.
Personally, they're a little humped up, but that's okay.
Well,
artists are allowed to do that.
And they lost Christine McVie, so it's sad.
Yeah, it was sad. She was
amazing and a good songwriter too.
What a talent.
She didn't get enough credit for her songwriting.
What's Dawn saying? Tadpole.
Well, you know.
Yeah, Tad and his pole. Yes, exactly.
Oh, you know what? You're right, Kelly. Margot got annoyed and she was like, listen, when you two figure out how to share things properly, then you can come talk to me.
Margot wanted to be shared. That's the key.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The roast and the, all that jazz.
Yeah.
See, dirty.
You need to bring back Ted, Margot, and see, I need a good love triangle in my life.
You do. I do. It's been so long. You're insatiable, Shayla Black.
Well, it happens.
And when I try to offer, if we could bring in Dominique and all these other ones, you say no.
No, they are missing the equipment that is necessary.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not interested in innies.
Innies?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
How's the Shan? I will let the Shan speak, but last time I heard she was doing good. Well,
physically. Mentally, you never know. Shan's still laid up, unfortunately, but she's working every day, gets herself around the shop, does her work, and still stays off her foot. And we were talking last night.
Does she?
We were talking last night, and she had a little accident.
Oh, no.
She thought she had sprained her wrist as well, or broke her wrist.
Yeah, a little birdie told me that there was a wrist thing happening.
And she was like, if that had happened, I would have lost my mind.
Well, that says something about Margot if two couldn't keep up with her.
Margot is insatiable.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. Some of us need a little nap in between. Just a little nap.
Let's see. William, almost a year ago, you told Ted to get lost and get the F out.
Well, it's been so long. Shayla Black brings the money in, so she kind of pays for what she gets. So makes sense.
Hi, Regina. Hello. Oh, Kelly wants the... No, please don't.
Yeah, because I think that helps our coloring.
Honey, I can't read.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Score one.
Don't like it.
There you
go. Don't like it. Thank you.
You just wash me out.
You are fine. The smoking jacket and the pipe.
Kelly, and the monocle. Don't forget the monocle that I have.
Yes.
Right? I took the smoking jacket to Nikki Ann, remember? I brought it to a Romanticon last year. That was awesome. The smoking jacket doesn't get much.
I saw all of the pictures, Rhonda, from that conference in Vegas. It looks like y'all had fun. I hope nobody comes down with conference crud.
What conference was that?
It was like the Dirty Daddies or something like that do Vegas or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they called it. It was something in that neighborhood. Yes, exactly. What about Tad's
Louise,
monocle?
the problem was everyone was staring at Tad's monocle, and it gets a little inappropriate sometimes.
Oh my.
I'm just saying.
He was shy about his monocle being stared at. Okay, perfect.
It was so large and so, glassy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was one of the first albums you owned, received it for Christmas with your first stereo. Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome,
At least you got good. My dad used to give me the albums that he bought and then would listen to and decide he didn't like them, which is how I wound up with like America and the Village People.
I love America.
Well, yeah, but I was like 8 or something, and I was like, "What is this?" I had no idea.
You know how big America
Hi,
was in the 70s?
I do.
Do you have any idea?
They had that one album, and
I mean,
then
the girls were crazy for these guys.
Hi, Becca.
Crazy for them. Hey, Becca.
When is my next book coming out? So the next book coming out officially will be the next book in the Doomsday Brethren series, which is my spicy PNR series. And that is Possess Me at Midnight, which will be out in the middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to start reading it now, as I put in my newsletter today.
The VIP Shayla Black newsletter.
That is correct.
Today, yes.
I'm starting to drop it in serial form on Ream Stories starting on Monday. So if you are interested in that, go to reamstories.com and look me up. And you will see all the things.
Vicky, I love your profile pic, by the way.
Or on my website, that is cute. Or on my website, there is a direct link on the homepage to Ream Stories. So that's that. And then I also, if you go to shaylablackstore.com, you can see everything. There is a tab at the top that says coming soon, and you can see everything that's coming soon and the dates associated.
Yep.
That's that. Let's see. Up to 70 degrees in New York. Last week, snow today, Ruth. Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So weird.
Question for signings, yours only. Do you do out a limit on books? I don't, because my philosophy is I'm here for you to get signed whatever it is you need or want.
Because you only do 2 or 3 physical signings. So it's like, if you don't get them then, you're not going to get them.
I know some people who have had like hand or wrist or arm problems, and they will limit. I have been to signings where they'll say the crowds are too big and you need to limit 3 or something like that.
And let's be realistic. There's some hoity people out there too that just don't want to sign more than a couple of books.
But you know, even
that's not her.
Even when I go to events and they tell me limit 3, I will very often say, leave me your stack and I will sign it if I get any spare time. If I don't, I will give it back to you after the signing.
If it's several books, she can sign them while you're in line and be good. But if it's more than that, then we'll just hold them in the back. And then when she gets a break, we'll sign it and have it at our table and you can come back and pick them up. So we always do that. It works out fine.
Oh, I'm sad you had to back out of Branson too.
Oh, Rhonda.
That's no good.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. I was looking forward to seeing
Rhonda.
you.
I am sad.
Hey, Allison and Dawn, how are you guys?
Speaking of Branson, by the way, we have the official Shayla Black party.
Yes.
Sign up form.
Grab the link right now.
We have over on the Google form. So Shayla Black is going to post that. You missed the thing.
Yeah, it's just not wanting.
Just right click on it. You don't have to do that.
Well,
there you go. And this is the sign up form. So make sure you go in and sign up. A couple of you have already found the form, so awesome, and got your signups. So if you're going to be joining us in Branson and want to join us for the party, it'll be on Friday night, the night before the signing, and we reserved a suite upstairs so everyone can come to that suite. We're going to have booze, we're going to have music, we're going to have fun, and we're going to have a blast.
All kinds of stuff.
And it starts at 8:00 at night, so you know it's a good party. So
thank you, Vicky. The commitment, yes, is up for pre-order now. Again, if you go to shaylablackstore.com and look at the Coming Soon tab, it is one of the Coming Soon books. It will be out in October.
October of this year.
Finally. And if you missed the whole
get off our plate.
If you missed the whole explanation about why it's been so long, I will recap in 30 seconds. Buying out a previous writing partner, legalese, mom dying, dad dying, another dad dying. Yeah, it was a lot over the last few years
for both of
between me and Jenna. We both lost parents. Like I said, Isabella decided that she didn't want to write anymore, and she got remarried and got another job, and happy for her, but all of that requires paperwork and legalese and all of that kind of stuff, and re-putting up books from one account to another. It was like, it was a thing. It was a whole thing.
Recopywriting everything.
Recovering.
Pain in the ass.
And at the time we did it, we also decided that we would change the series name because
Amazon.
I'm glad we did
because I like it. I like the look and feel of it so much better.
Well, and Amazon had just decided that we belonged in the dungeon where nobody could find the books anymore. So
because you were too sexy.
Yes, it compelled us to have to do a whole bunch of things. So that is why it's taken so dang long.
That's right.
Plus, getting 2 schedules together is really way challenging, like super duper
apparently
challenging.
You found time for Tad and Lance. So, you know. Oh, that's right. That's what happens when you take them on at the same time.
The needs.
Right. Yes,
William
I know.
needs.
I know. Needs of the business. Yes. You keep telling me.
You know what, Susan? That is profound.
I don't think you could say it any better than that, Susan.
That is profound, girl.
It's a great movie, too. Great movie.
Will it be stories for Ethan and Caden? Kane and Ethan. Gosh, I can't even talk today. Ethan is going with me to Wicked Lovers, Soldier for Hire, Vendetta Kings, which is the next series, and it will launch.
It's not Soldiers for Hire, Vendetta Kings. It's Vendetta Kings.
It's Wicked Lovers, Vendetta Kings.
You said Soldiers for Hire.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm like.
Don't freak me out because I've already done all that stuff.
No. So, it's Wicked Lovers, Vendetta Kings, which will launch in early 2027. So Ethan will be going there. I'm still working on a plan for Kane. He's one of those characters who just. And I've had them before. They don't want to tell me what's up until like they're ready for me to know. It's a whole thing. So one of these days he's going to tell me what it is he wants exactly, and we're going to make it happen. But right now he's just not being cooperative. It's always the quiet ones. You notice that?
Exactly.
I need a bracelet that says fall risk. Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Did you fall, girl? Oh no! Oh, Shannon does.
Yeah.
Do you need one too?
No, she needs one that says, if I fall in, don't try to help me up.
Hi, Sharon. Welcome in. Smoking jacket was the bomb. See? It looked really good with the tank top, by the way.
Well, you know what? It had to be cool on the inside, but the outside it had to be cool looking too. So
I know.
It served both. That's why I never took the jacket off.
Uh-huh.
Didn't want to scare anybody either.
Hi, Renee.
Toxic man on the floor.
Hey, Connie. Special shout out to Connie for joining me over on Clapper. I appreciate that. So if you're not aware, Clapper is another, it's like TikTok in a sense that they do a lot of short videos, but it's super duper laid back and chilled.
I've not been invited to Clapper.
Well, you could, it doesn't require an invitation. You just do.
I don't have time. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, so the conference was Dirty Daddies Do Vegas. I knew it was something like that.
DDDV.
Well, I'm glad that you remembered, Lorraine. So, Renee, come joining us. I can't talk today.
Hey, wow. Renee.
I slept last night and I don't feel like it. I'm just like.
Girl can't stay up late anymore.
I can't.
At the party, she will. We will fill her full of whatever we're going to fill her full of. So she'll stay up.
Coffee.
Tunes get you going.
Typically. And people.
Don't stop believing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's right.
You need a new audiobook to listen to. I am working on something and I'll see what I can do here in the next couple weeks. I'm trying. You just got part 2 of Wicked and Bound. Yay. I hope that you enjoy it. It's a nail biter. So
little Hazley.
Little Hazley. See, you remembered this time.
Well, I was going to say Hosley, but you hit me then.
I would. So you caught that. Thank you. For those of you who came today and pre-ordered Mallory's book, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
She appreciates that.
What is his name?
Nathan.
Nathan. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Jan, you're hitting and quitting WW tonight. Had to say hi. I know what you're doing. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Let's see. The new background picture for cell phones. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed. So all my subscribers over on Ream Stories got a new wallpaper today for cell phones, tablets, and Kindles. Plus, I gave them a bonus online puzzle. And what's exciting,
the box that we're putting together
for the orgasmic
folks. That's going to be the actual book arrives mañana.
Oh, that's right.
There's going to be here. That means tomorrow.
It does.
In El Español.
But
it will be here tomorrow, and that's going to be awesome.
Let's see. Here you go. So here is the sign up for the party. If you are coming to Branson and you would like to join us on Friday night at 8:00 for a party, that is how you come and join us.
Exactly. Hey, Melissa Hayes. I
Hey,
hope
Melissa,
you're doing well.
Your boyfriend
Good for
quit
your
smoking.
boyfriend.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome news. That's awesome.
Work stress gave you hive. Relaxing here. Good. We will endeavor to be semi-relaxing, Tab.
You know, Melissa, I tried smoking when I was younger, and I was at Magic Mountain, and I was, how old was I? 20?
Maybe, if that.
19, 20. And it was cool to get the Marlboros, right? And everyone would put them up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I tried them. I just couldn't. If I inhaled that, I just about died. And I said, why am I doing this to myself?
Right.
So I stopped.
Yeah.
And I can't, unless I'm really drunk in Mexico and I bum a cigarette off someone. Now you can't smoke outdoors, by the way, in Mexico. It's illegal.
Were you supposed to smoke
illegal.
in Mexico?
There might be a special smoking section. We used to be able to smoke out. Remember we were at the thing and the girls and I bummed a cigarette off of those girls. And, but I was really drunk. So don't judge me.
So drunk.
Don't judge me. I bummed 2 actually off of them. But then I didn't like them at all, by the way. But no, you can't smoke outdoors.
Wow. Wow.
I do love a good cigar every once in a while, though.
That is true. So let's see what else. Oh, it's because of your mom's situation, Rhonda. I hope you guys find her a good memory care facility, but I know that's not easy.
It is. I went through it, and it's tough.
Well, I went through it in a different way with my grandfather. I know my mom and my grandmother spent a lot of time trying to find, a place that could handle him.
And to find the place that you want. It's always hard to make that because you're making the decision for them and you want the best for everyone. And you're just hoping that you're making the right choice. And most of the time you do because you're doing your due diligence. So that's the best you can do.
Christine, we talked about this last week and I don't know if I was super clear. So I'm happy to address this again. Possessed by Him is actually my Kickstarter first book. That's, so as soon as Kickstarter gets it, then I will start dropping it on Ream. So that's that's
the guy with the tats, right?
Yes. Okay. Everybody who is writing, so Sierra and Golden and I are all writing original and connected stories. So those connected stories need to go to the Kickstarter folks because it will make sense to them, all the connections, because they're getting the whole anthology at once.
Yep.
But I will be dropping my part on Ream as soon as everybody with those with Kickstarter has gotten their version. So there's that.
Dawn signed up for the party. Awesome.
Yay.
Thanks, Dawn.
Yeah, I saw a couple people, so that's fantastic.
I am bringing a lot of alcohol.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm serious. Now, there will be one kind of alcohol, but you will like it. Trust me, you will like it.
I hope you're a vodka person.
And you'll have a good time. Believe me. And I am the bartender and will always be the bartender, and I will take care of everybody, but we will have a great time.
Very good. Excuse me. You just saw his T-shirt. You have that? Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
great. A great album. It's one of my favorites.
Shayla got to see Don Henley and Stevie Nicks when she was at the University of Arizona. They came there they were in town for a benefit, and they came over.
Yeah,
they were sky high. Is that right?
Oh my! Well, he did his thing. But she was like stumbling around the stage. And this was 1985 or 6.
Was it 85? 80? Yeah,
it was 85, actually. It was late 85. Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of substances between all of them.
Oh, I'm sure. Let's see. Husband coming with you to Branson. Is he?
Of course he is, Virginia. Please bring him. Yes.
Yes, that will be fun.
+1s are welcome.
Oh, there we go. The smoking jacket looked great for the panels.
I had such a good time.
Oh, coffee, Baileys, and peppermint or butterscotch schnapps. Yum. Let's see. Oh my gosh.
Jennifer Cooper, you're never late.
Hi, Jen. So you were 6 when your grandpa let him try his tobacco. Oh my God. Ew.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He did you a favor. That's awesome. Never touch it again.
Unless you want something other than vodka, Dana. I can't think of anything.
On the sign-up sheet, there's a little note thing down there. And if you do want to bring something, you can. There is no need for you guys to bring anything. I'll have everything there. So don't worry about that. We're in Branson, so we'll have lots of loaf bread and sandwich.
Gluten-free vodka. I thought all vodka was gluten-free.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I assumed it was.
Yes, it is gluten-free because Rachel Connolly
Drinks
imbibed
it.
a lot of it when she was here.
Yes.
And she and I were having a good time cutting up in the back last week. The week before last.
You got to meet Golden and Renee over the weekend. You know, they're both really sweet. So I'm glad that you got to meet them.
I have never met Golden, but Renee is, and her Golden's awesome.
Yeah.
But Renee is a beautiful person. I love her. She's an awesome person.
Yeah. You won't be drinking in Branson. You're staying with a friend in Springfield, 30 miles away. I get that.
No worries. No worries.
No worries. We can still have fun. You love Stevie Nicks. She played the Witch of the American Horror Story Coven. Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a horror person, but I did hear that. So, Lord, now that we've settled in and said hi and spent a half an hour just shooting.
Has it been half an hour?
It really has.
Just scatter shooting?
Just scatter shooting.
So Shayla Black, there's a number of things to talk about.
Yes. Hi, Carla.
Shayla, over the weekend, was invited to the Dallas area romance authors gathering, and she gave a little speech.
I did.
Keynote, if you will.
Well, I was the speaker of the month.
Talking about the industry. And I think that was kind of some of the things you were going to talk about tonight too, right?
Well, I'm going to obviously approach this differently because that was a gathering for writers. And a lot of you guys, are coming at this more from a reader's perspective. But if you have questions specifically about what's going on in Romancelandia and why it's going on in Romancelandia, I am absolutely happy to answer questions. I'm not going to give you like the whole multi-page talk here because...
And that actually might be a better thing for a separate event.
No, not really.
No, you don't think so?
No. Because we're all here. We're all hanging out together. Kind of like
Ben's Big Load? I don't know.
It is not.
I just don't know. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know the industry. I just don't know.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, Michelle. Welcome in. So if you guys have specific questions or you want to know, like, why do authors do this? Why do authors do that? And I see a lot of people asking questions and making assumptions about why they think authors make decisions that they do, or why the industry is going a certain way, or, fill in the blank. So if something has made you go,
why do authors get married in the first place?
I'm sure I don't know.
You capture before they get successful. That's the key.
You're funny.
Oh, there's that.
You're funny.
We were missing that.
Well,
as it probably takes us out now.
Probably.
There. Much better. I look so much better now.
Oh my gosh. He's over there messing with settings. And while you guys think of questions, don't you have something to share?
Well,
something to share.
We have taste tests tonight. I'm not sure we're going to get to them all tonight.
No, we have to.
But, we had to do this, okay? Because why? Because tonight, it's the smorgasbord of love. It's the Oreo cookie cream cake. It's the Biscoff cookie cake. It's the chocolate peanut butter overload cake cookie. And then strawberry fields crap thing. So you can see all that right there.
Oh my gosh.
We are going to be trying. Yes, Tabitha, it is a big box. Well,
here.
It's average. Let's put it that way. It's average.
Oh my gosh.
It's average.
So where would you like to start?
It's about a 4-inch box. All right. So I have a plate. So before we do anything else, we'll go ahead and we will try a cookie because we have a lot to get to.
We do.
All right.
Should we start with Strawberry Fields Craft?
No, we're starting off with Biscoff.
Oh, you're going to go for the big one first, huh?
Well, you go big or you go home, Shayla Black. That's what you said before we got married. You said, show me the stuff. Otherwise, no marriage.
That's right.
So there is the Biscoff cookie cake.
Christine says you have an addiction. You need therapy.
I'm sorry. Who was that? I missed it. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So I don't think we need to cut it.
No.
So this is, it's 2 pieces of cake. Looks like there's some cinnamon sugar and Biscoff top and bottom with Biscoff cookie on the top.
I am not a fan of the Biscoff cookie. He likes it. Baby likes it. I am not a fan of the Biscoff cookie.
From what I hear, it's a 12 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay.
But thinking you probably have to like a Biscoff cookie, and I don't.
And why is it some of the crumble cookie reviewers on TikTok are just dumb? They're like smashing it in their mouth, throwing it in a ton of milk, spilling on, just to be silly. I don't get it. All right. We're going in.
All right. How about this, y'all?
Ooh, smell it. Mmm. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, so for me,
that's good.
That's better than I expected.
It's got a little gingerbread to it.
And I'm just not a gingerbread fan. So for me, I'm like...
And I'm sure it's not gingerbread.
It's not, but it's something gingery for sure.
That's actually really, really good.
I don't...
It's soft. And
it's soft.
It's moist.
It is. I don't dislike it. I'm just
telling you. Here, have a bite. Have a bite.
It's better than I thought. It's just because I'm not a Biscoff cookie fan. It's not really my jam.
Show you guys the cross section there. It is,
but it's good.
It is a decadent dessert. You definitely taste the Biscoff. It's very soft, very creamy, very satisfying.
You know what? I will say this. It's almost like if I
didn't call for you.
If a cinnamon crumb cake and something slightly gingerbread had a baby, you would have this. Don't you think? Because there is what's saving it for me is the cinnamon. I can taste the cinnamon. It's just almost drowned out by ginger, which is, like I said, not my favorite flavor, but
it's not really ginger. I don't know what it is. But
well,
anyway,
it is.
It's good. That's it, Kelly. It's almost like pumpkin spice.
A little bit.
Not ginger. It's more like pumpkin spice.
It is.
There's probably a little bit of nutmeg in there.
Yeah, I can taste that too. Okay, so let's see. No, I did not skip dinner, Kelly, in lieu of crumble cookies because I try to eat very little.
It reminds me of those little cinnamon bear snacks I used to have.
Yeah, the cinnamon grams, Teddy grams.
The Teddy grams.
The cinnamon Teddy grams.
At first, it was like it kind of has the same consistency as pumpkin pie, but it has the flavor of Teddy grams.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's good.
It's better than I thought. No, it's better than I thought it was. I'm trying to like search for my words, Regina, because it is like it's a particular flavor. It's not.
What's the score?
You know what? I would actually shockingly give that a 4.
Okay, it's going 4.3 for me.
Okay.
4.3.
You know.
Very good.
I love pumpkin spice, Kelly. I'm just not a gingerbread and nutmeg fan, and I don't like cloves
you
at
like
all.
Pumpkin pie, though.
I love pumpkin pie, which I know has a little bit of all those things, but pumpkin is the top note.
Go back over there and put that back in the box so that we can have that plate for additional ones.
The box is right here.
So Nikki Ann has a question.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Have you ever read a book from a fellow author that was awful? And if yes,
sorry, honey.
Sorry.
No. Oh my gosh.
Now the peanut butter is going to taste like Biscoff.
Biscoff. That's.
All right, let it go. Go work on those sandwich making skills.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Nikki Ann says, have you ever read a book from a fellow author that was awful? And if yes, who was it?
No, that's
okay. Sorry.
You know what? I have, and no, I didn't because A, they didn't ask, and I, wouldn't necessarily appreciate some other author telling me they thought my book sucked too. But really, honestly, so much of that is because to me, it's in the eye of the beholder. Like there are books that people have raved about, like community wide. I have heard people go on and on about certain books that honestly were DNFs for me. And that's not necessarily a reflection of their skill or do not finish.
Oh, okay.
It's not necessarily a reflection of their skill or lack thereof. It has more to do with just not everybody wants the same thing in a book. And I tell people, some people will come and talk to me and be like, oh, I'm thinking about starting like a collaboration with a friend or, another fellow author that I know. And, how do you know if it's going to be a good partnership? And I always say that you should pick somebody who appreciates and wants the same things in a book that you appreciate and want. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people for whom they just want plot, plot, plot. Like I used to be, in a group, like a critique group, right? And there were two of us that were more about character and conflict and emotion. And then there were two others who were all about plot, 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 plot. Like they just wanted to keep the external plot going. And, they valued that because that was interesting to them. I like character and conflict and emotion, and those are the things that are interesting to me. But if you put those two people together and say, y'all write a book, it's on the one hand, you want to go, oh, well, you'll balance each other out. Well, eventually you might. But what's going to happen first probably is you're going to have a whole bunch of arguments about where to go next, because one person is going to be like, no, we need to stop and milk this moment and get all the emotion out of it and really show the characters growing and changing. And the other person is going to be like, screw all that. It's too slow. I'm not interested. Let's just keep the story moving. So it's one of those things where just because I didn't love it doesn't mean it was bad. It just meant it wasn't for me. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. That's happened with 2 series now. First time I ever DNF'd a book. W series. Wish I hadn't bought them all before reading book 1. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that happens. Unfortunately, and I've done that where I've loved like books 1, 2, and 3 in a series. And then I bought a whole bunch more and I just fell behind because I didn't have time. And then when I went to start trying to read the series, I was like, something has changed and this just isn't working for me anymore.
At that point too, right?
Well, in this particular case that I'm thinking of, she changed. She 100% changed.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is, that I was loving a thing and then I got enough of it and I didn't love it anymore. I don't know. With the current political climate, have you received? I haven't.
No, Jennifer, our biggest pushback, I shouldn't say pushback, are issues with social media platforms, right? In certain types of covers, in certain types of language and how we promote her books. But that's their issue. That's not a political issue. But I would say there's been no issues, I think, with anyone. And I would love to see someone try. But this just not happening.
And part of my talk, to be really honest, over the weekend, because I did have somebody ask me, how I was handling, the current political climate. Sorry, this is just driving me nuts. And the fact that it seems like a lot of my peers have chosen to be political on their pages. And, their justification is, I don't do it on my author page, but I do it on my timeline because that's my page and I can do what I want to do. 100% you can do what you want to do. Yep. Like, knock yourself out. All I'm saying is that fans see your timeline. And even if it is your page, you're likely to piss somebody off. And for me, I don't think it's worth it. I'm of the mind that we're here for love. We're here for romance. That's the reason, we got together in the first place. Why would I want to talk about something that probably and I'm just going to venture to say it's hard to get 2 people to agree on anything anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what it is. It could be ice cream flavors. I'm just not even going to go there.
It seems like conflict is now a commodity.
Well, and
folks have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Grifting.
And I'm talking about media, grifting and putting groups against each other. And I refuse to be a part of that because it just, especially on what we're here to talk about is what your passion is. I don't know how that translates to the current day of politics. I don't know. And it doesn't.
And I also feel as if you never know, like all of those memes about, walking a mile in somebody else's shoes because you never know what they've been through or what their life is like right now. And yet I've seen more people jump on other people for their politics without knowing what's going on in their life right now and without walking a mile in their shoes. Maybe they have some amazing reason for believing what they believe, and it's really none of my business. So that's my 2 cents.
Because it's easy.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm lazy.
I've read books by the same author in a long specific series and not finished certain books because you didn't like the book. It happens. I mean, sometimes, and I can say this in all honesty, just like I was talking about Kane a minute ago, it's so hard sometimes when you want a character to go a certain place and that character's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And
those are the voices in your head, Shayla Black.
But that's how books happen, is the voices in my head. So, and I've done that as a reader too, where I've loved a series and then I've come to a book where I'm like, this just doesn't do it for me. But I also know thematically, there are some things that I'm just not wired to like. And I remember a conversation that I had with a fellow author once where she had come to a place, she had been reading 2 different books, and they just kind of happened to sort of touch on the same subject. And one author said, well, basically, if this horrible thing happens, I've already had this happen once and I escaped it once, and I can't live through this again. I won't make it. And I would rather just off myself than have to deal with this again. And the other author was like, no, I'm going to fight tooth and nail forever and ever and ever, and I will find another way out. I don't think that you can tell anybody who's living that situation what's right for them. They have to make that determination. Sure. But it's so easy for us to bring our thoughts and our biases to that conversation and then be like, well, I think if you said one thing or the other that you're wrong and here's why. Like, people pile on to stuff like that. But I think, again, because you don't know what they're going through and you've never walked a mile in their shoes, it's really easy to make these overgeneralizations. And sometimes you're just the person who's not wired to like that book because you don't have that frame of reference that the author might have.
And that's okay.
For whatever reason.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to like every book. You don't have to dig deep into the reasoning why they wrote that book to like it or not like it.
Yeah, and like Connie said,
no one has the time for that.
It's okay to skip a book sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Just not one of your books.
Please don't. That's what's hard for me because I'm meeting her at a book con this year. I'm going to lie and say I enjoyed it. It was just dark. And that's just it. I mean, the dark isn't for everyone. And I will tell you, there's an author right now who shall remain nameless. And people rave and rave and rave about her books. I have tried 3 times in 3 different series. I'm just not wired to think the way she thinks. I find it a little head scratching. And it's just not for me. And it is too dark for me. And that's just, again, that's personal preference. And even being an author, you still have your personal preferences.
So Dawn says, when I was a local RWA group in St. Louis, I had to do a review twice for someone who told everything instead of showing.
Mm-hmm.
My critique group tried to make sure we split her books up among us.
Yeah, it's really hard. And it's one reason I think critique groups have a lot of value, but you have to be paired with people who are kind of where you are, craft wise. And when you've been doing this longer than somebody else who's, maybe only been at it 6 months or a year or something, like, your skill level is just going to be different. And sometimes, like, they would come naturally to the conclusion eventually that they need to show more than tell, but you have to get there.
And I think in your case, you've got to know your own voice.
Yeah.
And know when maybe I need to step aside and do my own thing. Because you can't go along with the flow the whole time, right?
No.
And because every author has a voice, and you want to be a distinctive voice out there,
You
have to
do.
listen to it.
You do. Do you think maybe Baby and I will write something? We have something in mind that we've thought about doing, but again, just so busy.
I'm not dead yet, so the biography can come later.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The true Hollywood story.
Mhm.
Yes, William Black.
You were reading a book series that you just couldn't finish. It was getting too dark, and how the female character. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's really hard when you're writing a long series, and I'll tell you why. Besides remembering every little detail, it gets to be a lot after a while. But one of the things that's really difficult is that you worry that you're repeating yourself in some way. If you're not changing like a lot the way you approach relationships or the characters, or you feel like if you've been doing this for 6, 8, 10 books, you should change something so it's not the same. And sometimes it's that thinking that pushes us to make artificial changes, thinking that it's going to keep the series fresh. But sometimes I think that's also a way to remove what people liked about series in the first place, if that makes sense.
And you've learned that too.
Yeah.
By just changing something to go along, it changes your voice, and you don't like that.
Well, it doesn't so much change my voice. It's that it changes the tone of that series.
Yeah.
That's probably the more nuanced way to put it. It's, because I'm always going to sound like me because of my word choice and stuff like that.
But a good example of that is Doomsday Brethren.
Yeah.
Right? When Simon & Schuster, or the powers that be in New York, really wanted you to tone it down.
Yeah.
Which was not what you wanted to do.
Which is not what I wanted to do.
Thank God we fought tooth and nail and got the rights back, and you're putting all that back in that you wanted to.
And more.
With these new books and more.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect example of actually saying, you know what? You were in a certain position at one time, now you're in a different position.
Yeah.
And now you can actually tell the story the way you want to.
With a new author, if they ask for advice about getting started, what would you tell them? I would tell them to read. And then I would probably tell them, wow, this is hard. In the past, I would have said, join RWA, but RWA is that organization. If you don't know how to get things out of it, you will find it difficult. Because if you're not a joiner, and if you're not good at making friends, and if you're shy about getting in someone's face and saying, I have questions.
The author community, and I'm sorry, it's not as tight-knit as it used to be.
Mm-mm.
Back when you had just the traditional publishers, and before indie publishing came into play and so many other people could contribute or participate, you had such a strong coalescence of authors, and they relied on each other and organizations to learn the business.
Yeah.
Now it's the Wild West.
Now it is the Wild West.
Completely the Wild West, and you're better off searching on AI or the cloud or what have you, asking questions to say, how do I go about doing this? How do I go about doing that? Because hell, even I could publish a book on Amazon. It won't be any good, but I could do it. But to know how to market the thing, know how to structure a book, how to do all those things. Yeah. I don't know that there's a good organization for that out there right now.
I've heard some people, and I'm not a member, say if you want to be an indie author, you should join Ally, ALLI, which is something like, I don't know, something, alliance of independent authors, basically. I don't know anything about what they offer per se. I mean, I do know some people like Alessandra Torre have, she has really good classes.
Oh, she has that whole session.
She has a whole conference.
She's good.
If you've never done Alessandra's conference, I spoke at it a couple of years ago. It's a really good conference, you guys, and they come at it from a very honest place. And every summer, they have this conference. I think it's in June. And then if you buy the recordings, you get them for 3 years. And she has everything from really kind of beginnery stuff all the way to very advanced
book structure to marketing to distribution
to Amazon ads to like you name it. There's something for everybody. So I would say that's probably a good reference as well. I read a book by a soon-to-be new author, hard to read, tried to place all the aspects of the book into every story. Yeah, it's so hard when you see it in your head, because I'm going to tell you the hardest thing for a new author is you see this thing in your head and you keep putting words on the page and it doesn't necessarily match. Like when you read it back to yourself, it doesn't necessarily match what's in your head. So then you have a tendency to think, oh, I need to add more, because you're thinking, I'm just not having the impact that I thought I would. So instead of trying to hone words and figure out how to use vocabulary and syntax and all of those sorts of things to really make your point, a lot of people just be like, I just need to throw more at it, because they don't know why it's not working. They just know that it's not. Hopefully that makes sense. Personally, I enjoy books that you and writers like Lexi and Sierra write. I want to be entertained and not have a whole lot of introspection. Yeah. I have done my fair share of reading of things like, I remember reading some Michener and like Ken Follett. And, back in the day, I wanted to do all this, deep, dark, not dark, but deep reading, about a subject. And I did read some of them. I just,
Dan Brown is a good example of that.
Yeah, Dan
goes deep,
but he moves fast.
Yes, exactly.
Unlike somebody like Michener, where I swear you could read, in an 800-page book, and like 300 pages would be all these asides and history lessons about like geology. I don't care.
It's like a textbook.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. So, I am very impatient. And I still will come back and read some of my books sometimes and think, I wish I had figured out how to pace it faster, because that's my one giant pet peeve. So you guys might notice Wicked Bound was a little bit shorter, but that was a conscious effort on my part to strip out as much of the introspection as humanly possible so I could still tell the story, but I wanted it to be fast, because I wanted to give the feeling that things were happening to Hazley so quickly that she was having a hard time even adjusting. Like every time she thought she knew what was happening on this damn island, then something new would come and like knock her around again.
Sure. And
that was a conscious choice on my part to really keep pace moving as fast as humanly possible. Let's see. You like DDB, but you love the rewrite. Thank you. Tracy, I'm enjoying it so much.
She has put her heart and soul in those things, and having the opportunity to go back and add more to it, it's a blessing.
Yeah, that's another thing. There are some small writers groups around. Never feel shy. There's a lot of writers groups on Facebook. Libraries can be a good source. Romance is harder with libraries. Some libraries are really accepting. Others are hideous. And if you say the word romance, they will run you out of the building.
You've had a few contemporaries where their husband actually came and joined the business.
Yeah.
And I've tried working with them, and I was more than happy to help and share with them how we've structured things and how you do things. And I would say 2/3 of them are no longer doing it.
Yeah.
Because it is an investment in time.
And patience.
And not everyone's cut out for that now. But then other things, people get other priorities as well, right? So, but it is a full-time commitment.
It is.
It really is, because now you don't have a publisher to rely on to handle all the marketing, the back end. You're not just cashing the check and getting the W-2. It is, you're responsible for everything.
Everything.
And every decision you make, and you know this more than others, Shayla, every decision you make goes to your bottom line, good or bad.
Yeah.
And there's no one to blame or no one to push off. and yeah, your check will be a little lower, or your revenue for that month will be a little lower, maybe a little higher.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're the one having to make those decisions and hoping you made the right decision. Right?
There's always the hoping you made the right decision. Would it be about the craft of writing, advertising, promotion? So something like Alessandra Torre's conference is going to cover a little bit of all of that. You will find groups, especially on Facebook, that are dedicated to one or, the other or whatever. Like they tend to stay on one topic. There are some groups out there like, Club Indie and can't think of the other one. It's escaping me. But there's a few groups out there where you can kind of ask a lot of things. Marie Force, I think, still runs a group like that for indie authors where you can go and ask questions. But for the most part, like I'm in a whole bunch of very specific, like niche groups. Like I'm in one that's like Kickstarter, advanced Kickstarter for authors. So they won't even let you in the group unless you've run 3 Kickstarters. And then I'm in another one that's like, how did they put it? Like
advanced BDSM?
No, it's like digital audio for pros or something like that. So if you've done at least 1 or 2 digital audio books with somebody like 11 Labs, or if you're cloning your own voice, because some people do that too, like where can you sell it and how can you clean up the files? And especially if you're not using something like 11 Labs, which comes with its own sort of like, it'll put the file together for you. But if you're recording your own voice, or you're doing like you did on GarageBand to do the narration, like people have all these technical questions, like how can I apply filters? And
because 11 Labs, they hire voices.
Yeah.
And these people are compensated for that. But I could have recorded my own voice. I'd had to give them 30 minutes of text.
Mhm.
They would have taken my voice and then put it on your stuff. But I wanted to record it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm cheap. So there you go.
Passionate Inc. is a great online group. So yeah, I a lot of Passionate Inc. is still an RWA chapter, I believe, right?
Nink does the same thing, right? You have to be a published author.
You do.
Okay.
But Passionate Inc., first of all, I'd like to say thank you, because Sylvia Day and I co-founded Passionate Inc. like forever ago, like 20 years ago or something now. And I have heard from some of the current leadership, and they seems to still have a really good thing going on. So, applause for them. And I think if you're enjoying that content, we always, even when I was back there, tried to have some things for everybody to help you like understand and catch up and get going. Mm-hmm. So, yay. Also, if a character in a book is not likable, I completely agree with you, Fong. The problem with that then also is that's in the eye of the beholder. Some people love certain characters that I have despised, and vice versa. And I think I particularly find that I don't like so everybody wants these, uber girl boss heroines. They're just not my jam sometimes.
Yeah.
I have to be in the mood. Let's put it that way. I can always read a person who's nice, who's approachable, who's reasonable, who's intelligent. Like what I would call like what some people would call really, because I've heard people make this, the difference between like Katniss Everdeen and Bella Swan, like those are completely different heroines. I kind of have to be in the mood for Katniss. It's not my everyday jam, but I can pretty much always read Bella.
And it's preference, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, quick break before you do this.
Okay.
One more cookie. We got another cookie. We got to get it in here. It's already top of the hour. And we'll run out of internet.
Well, I'll fall asleep on y'all. I was in bed by 9:20 last night.
So this is peanut butter overload. And it's got peanut butter on the, get ready. Peanut butter on the inside. Okay?
Oh, it does.
Peanut butter
stuffed?
on the inside. It's stuffed.
Oh.
And you know how you like that. So anyway, we're going to cut it. Now, there's a little Biscoff on top. So
yeah, because baby dropped.
Just get in there and you can see don't know if you can see.
Oh,
it
you
there.
can.
Here, I'll show it. I'll show the.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you can see the inside, and it's got a layer.
It's got a layer of peanut butter.
Inside.
Dang.
And we are peanut butter fanatics. So.
For reference, I love peanut butter. Yes.
So, okay.
Oh, geez.
I'm going with the outside crust with a little bit of inside.
And mine fell apart.
With a little peanut butter on top.
Mine fell apart.
Well, that's what happens. Use both hands.
I'm gonna have to. All right.
Here
ready?
we go. 1, 2, 3.
If you don't love peanut butter, this is not for you.
You gotta love peanut butter.
You gotta love peanut butter. I love
that. Is peanut butter overload.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
My dad's favorite cookie was a peanut butter cookie. I grew up with my mom making peanut butter cookies for every holiday for him. Those are so good.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Okay.
That is really good. That's a 4.4.
I'll go 4.5.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
And look at the girth on the inside of that cookie. That's a good size cookie. And there's no air in there. That's all cookie.
You better hide that for me because I'm probably going to eat that later.
Shit,
that's really good.
Anyway, sorry.
Dan Brown and David Balducci's books. I have read a few Dan Browns. Have you read Balducci?
I think I read one Baldacci book. I haven't read in a long
You haven't.
time.
And that guy that you loved retired.
And I miss Vince Flynn died.
No,
I
not
Vince Flynn,
but the other guy.
Stuart Woods.
Yeah.
I enjoyed his books. They were very simple books.
Were they?
They were very easy read books, which is what because I'm a simple guy. So, and I loved the guy that led that. And it was pretty good. But I used to love John Grisham.
Yeah.
But I gotta find I used to be a huge Tom Clancy guy.
Uh-huh.
They're all dying. So
yeah.
Anyway, I gotta find something else.
Hi, Nancy. Welcome in.
Hey, Nance.
Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
You explained what you put into Wicked Mound perfectly, because that was what you were. It's amazing how you craft it. I'm like, are you done yet? That's all I'm saying.
I know.
And she's busy crafting while I'm like putting the screws to her.
Well, and I can't even tell you guys how often with Wicked Bound I would write something and then I would go back through it. And normally when I go back through, I have this habit of adding more to it because I think, oh, I left this out and I left that out. And on my last pass through the book, which I normally would still be inserting little things here and there, I was taking things out because I was like, it's slowing me down. It needs to read faster. Like I was
wanted your pace to keep up.
I did, because it was so important that this feel so like a freight train and overwhelming.
Which is why I could never write a book, because I could tell the story, but I couldn't build the 10, you know what I'm saying?
But you can. It just takes time to learn how.
I don't have the patience for that.
And shockingly, I have no patience, but I eventually learn.
When it comes to craft, you do.
But I was determined. And I think the other thing was I was always like feeling, how can I put this? I was always feeling like that was sort of my mission in life, was to figure out how to get what was in my head and what I was feeling when I was thinking about the story, how to get that down onto a page so I could communicate with people what I was really. Oh, thank you for saving this for me for later. He's still eating the cookie, y'all. Here, I'm going to eat some cookie and you can answer a question.
I have my mouth full. You know about that. Here we go. For you, Mr. Black, what was the hardest part of you leaving corporate America and joining Shayla? I think there were, to say one. There were so many. I think the hardest part for me was the learning curve. I went, and I think I've told the story before. I went from the master of my domain, where I was the go-to person in my corporate career, finally, where I got I won't say the perfect job, but it was a pretty damn good job. I was overpaid. I had good benefits.
But what he liked more was that people knew he knew everything about this.
I was getting to that. If people needed to get something done and they didn't know how to do it or who to go to, they came to me. And to me, if you can be that cog, that integral to a business or corporation or an entity, I mean, that's everything. And then you make yourself indispensable. So that's kind of where I was. And then when she sat me down and said, this is the lay of the land or the new way that we're going to have to do business, and I have to leave and go do this, I went from knowing it all to knowing nothing.
Nothing.
And it had been 20 years of building this skill set that I had, or this knowledge base that I had, this network that I had, to going to knowing nothing. And it is the most humbling experience ever. And do I know it all now? Hell no. Right? I'm still
Nobody
learning.
can know it all. I don't know it all.
This business was when I came in, trad was still the thing, right? But it was on its way out. It was the revolution.
Yeah.
Was starting of indie publishing. And boy, trying to understand the trad side of it in contracts, and then migrate over to being a pioneer, a partner in her pioneering days with indie, was a struggle. So I'll say that was probably the biggest stumbling block for me, or the biggest apprehension for me, the biggest obstacle for me, which was the learning curve.
And then what made it harder, I think, was that they're just, from what he does for, this business and what he was doing. First of all, there's no correlation, because I knew enough about his business that if there had been something I could have said, oh, it's just like, but there was nothing.
No.
There was literally nothing. And I was just like, and I remember his first Monday, after he had left work, and we went out to breakfast. So I was going to sit down and try to give him an overview. And in the first 10 minutes, he's asking me questions. And I'm like, okay, but like, this is a side trail. Come back here. And he was like, well, wait a minute. I'm still trying to understand why you do this and why things work like that. And
why do we have to wear clothes every day? I'm not going into the office.
And I remember then thinking, he'd been with me maybe 18 months when I think I realized how radically the business was changing. And he was like, I remember one day he came to me and he was like, I feel like I just understood where we were, and now
we're turning it upside down
and everything is changing. And I was like, well, you're observant.
And I am not one that likes change. I do not like change, but no, I do like change. I do like
sometimes.
That was the nice thing about my corporate job. Every 2.5 years, I did something different.
Yeah.
At the same company. But, there's no getting out of this.
There you go.
It's a life sentence. It's a life sentence. Speaking of audios, thank you, Nikki Ann. Thank you.
He did do a really good job.
Oh,
you guys, I have to tell you how proud I am of my husband, because I know, listen, I was able to write that reflection in the privacy of my office. And if I needed to have a good cry about some of that, I just sat down and had a good cry about it. As he's narrating an audio, he can't do that. So it took him, some of those sections took him a couple of times.
No, I just turned the emotion off. There's a key right here. I just turn it right off, and then I don't feel a thing.
Okay,
so
perfect.
It worked out just fine.
Yeah.
But thank you, Nikki Ann. And thank you all for taking the time to listen to it, and your patience for waiting for it. So hopefully it was worth the wait.
Oh, it's so worth it, Regina. That peanut butter cookie is so good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're getting ready to change them out again, though, aren't they? When did they change it out? Is it Friday?
I thought it was Sunday.
Maybe it's Sunday.
Okay.
Because I think, but that cookie's the bomb.
Yeah. Oh, it's Stuart Woods passed away as well.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Because when I was talking, we used to hang with Steve Barry.
Yeah.
And Steve said, he gave me a story about Stuart Woods. I won't repeat it here, but it was a fascinating story. But it's fascinating when you meet someone that actually knows someone you're reading, right? That's my little niche of. It's like, did you know Tom Clancy? I didn't know,
Well, for him to just, off the cuff always talk about, like, he has stories about Lee Child and
and
just like they're, he's like, oh, I can just call Lee and ask him.
Who's the guy? It's a big author that wrote with.
James Patterson.
James Patterson. He's a good friend with James Patterson.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was a series that you watched on TV.
Brenda, I love the entire Longmire series. I didn't read it, but I watched it on whatever streamer it was. I loved every minute of it. It was awesome. There's a new one out. It's called Dark Winds. It's on AMC. And I think the first 2 seasons are on Netflix, I think. I'm not sure, but it's Native American, but it's kind of that same kind of time. It's set back, I think, in the late 80s or mid 80s, but it's so good. And it's that same presentation as Longmire. I love it. Love it. Great acting.
Oh, thank you, Christine. I loved writing that book. And Dana said she loved it too. Yay. Thank you, guys. Melissa, I'm excited to get back to Heavenly as well. She is a reflection, or at the time, she was a reflection in a lot of ways of my daughter. At the time, just kind of sweet and naive. She's grown up a lot since we started writing Heavenly.
Your daughter's not allowed anywhere near the Unbroken series.
Well, she started proofing it when she was 18.
I'll have to get a shovel and find a place to bury a few things. So if that happens.
Let's see. What's the one thing that's changed the most? Honestly, he hit it, which is really the transition from trad to indie. There's, and like I was telling, when I was writing this speech, one of the things that I said was, indie romance authors started taking control of their careers when Amazon started KDP back in 2010 or something. But it took a while for people to get over, because prior to that, anybody who was self-publishing was vanity publishing. They were finding some fly-by-night shyster probably to take money from them and and print their books.
We had a friend that did that.
Yeah.
And it was a children's book.
And we were like,
don't do it. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. You can just save all that money and you hire someone to do your cover and
make money off of that. But she had already signed the contract and we were like, you're never going to see any money from this. And they're like, sure we are. We're like,
these
you're not.
middlemen.
They make all the money. So that was probably the biggest thing, because authors for a long time had been, we spent all our time was worrying about the gatekeepers. Could you get an agent who could then get you an editor who could then get you a deal at a publishing house? And all of your time was spent trying to figure out how to make all the gatekeepers happy. And then even if you got a deal, how could you ensure that that your book would be presented properly to the booksellers, whom all of the publishers honestly think of the bookseller as their customer, not you.
Oh no.
And I had an argument.
The author is a product, period.
Well, and the reader is like an afterthought. I literally had an editor say to me, our customer is the bookseller, and our philosophy is, if that's the only thing on the bookshelf, of course they're going to buy it.
Their philosophy is, if I put it up there, they will come.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Guess how many bookstores have shut down now?
Yeah.
Guess how many are left? I mean.
And it's one reason why, for better or for worse, romance authors have always been the early adapters of whatever's coming. So we were the earliest adapters of KDP. And so all of a sudden there were, so the good news was you finally could stop worrying about the gatekeepers and doing what you thought you needed to do. The bad news was, for a lot of authors, they didn't know how to go from being an author to being a business person. And that's a giant jump. And I looked at the faces of some people that I talked to on Saturday. Some were like furiously writing notes and they're very excited, but there's always those people, when you start talking about doing business, they glaze over and they're done.
But, and a lot of folks just want to write the book and be done.
And
And
there's nothing wrong
I
with
respect that.
It's just that's not this
But
environment
don't
right now.
expect to be a leader in this new environment without having some say in the business, because it's your business, it's your brand. Oh, thank you, Eve.
Well, she says she's never going to admit this again after tonight. So
yeah, but it's in print, and we just took a snapshot. So thanks so much. I appreciate that.
And even Ruth liked it. So there.
Thank you, Ruth. Yes, busting my balls. I appreciated it. I appreciated it.
Oh,
I think that helped get me get it done.
You
because
did.
I didn't want to, because take it. Take it.
Yep. Oh, very cool.
Brenda,
Okay.
Brenda, I look forward to hearing the story.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd like to hear that too. Sorry, I meant to share and I was like off in my own world. What type of book in your genre has changed that you don't like? You know, it's not so much that I don't like, it's that there are some things that I don't understand. Like I
Give me
don't
that plate.
personally respond to, if that makes sense.
Just set it down.
There you go.
We're only going to do one more.
Okay. We'll have to tell you guys later how Strawberry Fields Forever went. We're running out of time. Sorry.
Here, try some of the streusel.
Okay. I love me a good streusel.
Any streusel is good.
But you can taste the berry in that streusel, so that's interesting.
Remember our midnight
Oh yeah.
butter streusel coffee cake
Yes.
from Sara Lee?
Oh yeah.
And we would put butter all over it and put it in the
Bake it,
oven.
and we would eat a whole coffee cake, and then we would go to bed
Oh my God.
after a night of dancing.
That was the best coffee
It was.
cake ever.
I think one of the things that sort of frustrates me a little bit is I appreciate the fact that there's a book for every reader now. And I think, you know, when we had trad and we had gatekeepers, you just didn't have that. You had what would appeal to the masses. And there weren't those books for people if you really wanted something different and something offbeat or something short or something very long. Like they all had to fit a certain length and tone. And it was a little exhausting. But I also don't love where we're at in terms of the judgment about what people write or why they're writing it or what their intentions are when they're writing it. And some of this trying to guess what people are thinking when they wrote it. Like I can remember a few years back, some book won a major award and everybody was angry. It was, I think, kind of supposed to be somewhat Schindler's List inspired. And some of you might remember this brouhaha, and they just vilified this author. And I'm like, you know, maybe, and you guys know me, I'm a rebel and I'm a contrarian. Like if there's a devil's advocate point, I will find it. And my kind of thought process was, it's probably not a book I would read, but maybe it appealed to somebody. Maybe this was a certain something to her personally that was important. Did you ever think of that?
Was that Cockygate?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
That was a different controversy.
Oh,
Sorry.
totally different. And then the other thing I thought about was maybe instead of vilifying her, maybe the correct approach was he started from a horrible place and belief, and he became something better. And isn't that something we all strive to do, is be better? And so I think for me, in removing the middleman, yeah, I mean, they were in the way and they created problems and I really disliked them all the way around. But on the other hand, they kept that kind of behavior from getting really, really out of hand.
Yep.
And so I don't love that. And the other thing I'm going to say, and again, I'm the contrarian, I'm a rebel, and I'm never not going to be controversial. The author in Australia who just got arrested, listen, I am in no way.
That makes no sense to me.
I am in no way saying that I think that book was awesome or appropriate, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you know, there's articles galore about it. And I don't want to say anything here because I don't want, you know, YouTube to kick me off. But here's what I'm going to say. if I'm understanding correctly, he didn't actually touch her. He thought about it. And so this is a fictional book about somebody thinking a fictional thought, and yet the author got arrested. I find that to be problematic. That is a thought crime.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's not something you would have written.
Oh, never. Never.
Or probably read.
No.
I know I wouldn't have read it, but it doesn't mean that you should be arrested for it. I mean,
well, and I was having another conversation. And so one of the things arrested. And one of the things that I saw was somebody on a Facebook forum saying, I'm you guys are going to have to read between the lines here a little bit. I'm an SA survivor and I just find this completely awful and how dare you and yada, yada, yada. Well, I talked to another author friend who I know is also an SA survivor and who was abused by her father. And she was like, you know, a lot of people write things like that because that was their growing up, that was their life, that was their childhood.
Yep. And
this is like their therapy. So for you to tell somebody else that their therapy is unacceptable is kind of wrong too. So I'm not saying, believe me, in no way would I write this book. I won't even read this book, but I just think arresting somebody for a thought crime is a bit much, just saying. And you may vociferously disagree with me. Like I said, I'm the contrarian and I'm the rebel, and I always have been.
But to arrest someone.
Arrest is a lot for me.
For work, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Ostracize, I can understand.
Oh, 100%.
Not reading it, even to the point of even boycotting, I can, if you want to do that, great, do it.
Fine.
But to arrest?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. What is the process for a person who's writing a book? Wow, Louise, that is a giant question.
Louise, that's a whole
I could speak for about
Torre thing
4 hours about that at least. But what I would say is if you think it's done, and you're really happy with it, hire an editor. And I would actually, if it's your first book, hire what we call a developmental editor, because that's a person who's really going to fine tooth your plot and your characters and your pacing. I mean, they will actually developmentally help you sculpt the book. So that would be probably the absolute next step. But there's so many more after that.
Oh my gosh, cover design.
Yeah.
Being able to get pre-orders up, getting relationships with all the retailers. I mean, there's so much behind that. There really is. There's a lot of resources for it. It's just finding the right resource.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right, guys. You got to find something else to bust my chops over. So I'm sure I'll give you something
I'm
soon.
sure that he will.
Just a matter of waiting. Okay, we have going from the Australian arrest to pie now. I feel bad. All right. This is the Oreo cream cake, I think it's called. I think this is going away. This has been available for a few weeks.
It was the dessert of the month.
And we have not tried it.
We have not. And so we were trying to decide what to try. And I was like, well, we should probably try this because otherwise it's going away.
Okay, so let's go ahead. You want to get some of the chocolate in yours? It's got chocolate all over it.
It really does. I know. Okay.
I like Oreos.
God,
I like Oreo cookie.
It's dense. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of thought that this would be cakier, but I think it's more like brownie.
Well, it's also been sitting out a little bit. So.
Okay, well, hurry up because it's falling apart.
Here we go. It's a brownie.
It's a brownie.
I knew it wouldn't be good.
It's okay.
Nope.
But it's a brownie.
It's a brownie. It's a Duncan Hines brownie. That's exactly what it is. You can put all this frilly crap on top. Great. It's a Duncan Hines brownie.
It is. I mean, it tastes a lot to me.
It's a thick ass brown. Oh, sorry. It's a thick ass brownie, but it
tastes a lot to me like a brownie out of a box.
Yeah, two on that.
Yeah.
For the amount of money it costs, that's a 2.
Sorry, my lips are really chapped, y'all.
That's a 2.
So anyway, yeah.
Ruth, you're right, and you're still alive. You got the narration. We're all still alive.
It's amazing.
We haven't had the apocalypse quite yet.
I enjoy having fictional stories about how evil or bad characters came to be that position. Yeah, absolutely. And it's
Ursula and Cat. Oh, see, yeah, I love that.
It's an interesting way to explore.
You know what was really done well? It was a great movie where they did that. was Cruella DeVille with what's her name?
Emma Stone.
I love Emma Stone. Love her. It was done so well. I love that.
Okay, William is very disappointed in that, but I'm also going to give you a little bit. See, I probably would have given it a 2.8. But he's also not the biggest chocolate fan.
The value equation. I had to stand there, and no, they won't talk to you and get it. I have to use the kiosk because apparently
don't talk to me.
Oh my God, and we don't take cash. Oh no, God, because that might give us cooties. I don't know, but yeah, not. Daddy's not a fan. Sorry.
Yeah. So I will tell you and I saw Dana and some other people who don't know what I'm talking about with this particular.
Who's that?
Thank you. I tried. Thank you.
I was gonna lick it off, but I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
If you don't know what book I'm talking about, you can go look it up. It's called Daddy's Little Toy. So that should probably tell you a lot right there. And it has little kids blocks, like Daddy's Little Toy is spelled out in little kid blocks.
That cover. Oh,
the cover is creepy.
The cover freaks me out.
Yeah.
But it's not an arrestable offense. Sorry.
No, I mean, like I said, there was plenty of outrage and boycotting and fine, 100%. But arresting was a lot for me. I was like, so if we're going to start prosecuting thought crimes, we're going to have some problems.
Do we have time for story time or do we put it off till next week?
No, you got to do it. You got to do it.
These poor folks have to go to bed.
Who wants story time now?
Or who wants it next week?
You got 10 seconds, y'all.
Quick. Respond, quick.
5, 4,
type it.
3. I know there's
just
a delay.
Wire in.
There's a delay, so I have to give them a minute to now. Can't go to bed if there's no story time.
All
exactly,
right, yeah.
Christina.
I got to give you some decent dreams. That's true.
That's
okay.
true.
So okay, well you guys will carry the thing here. Good night, Nicole.
Night, Nicole.
All right, here we go. So you guys remember we started off several weeks ago with Ben's big load. Ben delivered that big load in many, many ways. See, Eve knows how to talk to me.
That's
she
right.
knows how to talk to
Do
me.
we have a bedtime story, Daddy?
I need a t-shirt that says Dad. No,
you do.
No, I do not. No, I do not. I don't need to because I exude it. So
you
it just
do.
makes
That's
sense.
true.
Then we went to the amazing Mom's swing set. You guys all remember that one, right? Mom's swing set.
Yeah.
That one was okay. Mom's big load was pretty good. Then while the girls were here, the ladies, excuse me, Rachel and the other one, Shannon, and Rachel and I were a little drunk in the back.
Oh God, you were.
Rachel kept going. Okay, she was so funny. Then we did Do You Want to Play With My Balls? And that was
pretty funny.
That was pretty fucking funny, but we cannot show the pictures because it was.
Well, I never looked at the pictures.
Yeah, I would saying those words in those pictures would not be good. Would not be good.
Oh my gosh.
Even though it's double entendre, okay? So tonight, I have gone back to the great Kinsey Mazing, who wrote Bob's Big Load. Bob's Big Load. Did she write this one too? No, that was Jack Hammer. This was written by Jack Hammer. And this is called, okay.
Hang on. Your dog is licking my balls. Okay, sorry.
You guys don't understand. We were through with Wicked Wednesday last week. Shayla and I sat here and we watched the entire show when the ladies were here, when Shannon and Rachel were here, because it was so funny.
It was so funny.
We had so much fun with them. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Here we go. Tonight's episode, Who Will Eat My Sausage? Okay.
I have not read this, y'all.
I just want to say the sausage is a little bigger than his hand. Don't know about that. All right, here we go. His name is Sal. Looks like he's got one big boob there. Anyway.
It does. That's weird. Okay.
Who Will Eat My Sausage by Kinsey Mazing. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right.
It sounds like
or his name. I'm not sure. Sal, which is his name, I think we'll call him John here. No. Sal has a sausage cart.
As one does.
He sells his meat on the street.
Well, at least he rhymes too.
But lately, no one wants it. Not even his best friend Pete.
Oh no, Pete's not into sausage apparently.
Or maybe he's had enough of it. Let's just say that.
Size matters with a good sausage.
Yes, size does matter. Come and get your sausage, Sal yells to people as they pass by. But no one stops to try it. No one bats an eye. Okay.
I'm sad.
I know.
Make it stop. I'm sad.
His days are long and slow. He begins to feel depressed. He feels like giving up. Maybe he should just give it a rest.
You know, maybe.
Sounds like she's stretching there for a rhyme. Anyway. Then, can it be? Someone's walking closer. He approaches Sal and asks, "Is your sausage kosher?"
Valid question.
No, I'm afraid it's not. Will that be an issue? Yes, I'm sorry. I can't eat it. But can I have a tissue?
Oh no. So his one customer is gone.
Sal sighs and sits back to think. No one wants his sausage. It must really stink.
I hope he's washed the sausage lately.
Well, it's important to keep your sausage in good working order.
For sure.
Then pulls up a fire truck and out steps the chief. Oh, all you have is sausage? I was really hoping for some roast beef. I'm going to say that fire chief is kind of a rough looking fire chief. I'm not sure. It's a rough outfit. Sorry.
They should really rethink their uniforms.
What's wrong with Sal's sausage? It's so big and round. People used to say it was the best in the whole town.
Well, maybe there's a problem. Maybe you shared it with too many people in town. I'm just saying.
Can you put the PG-13 symbol up there, please?
No.
PJNA or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
Then walks up Mrs. Cleaver. They could have used a different name.
They could have.
She looks hungry. Sal can tell. Can I see your sausage? Does it taste very well?
Whip it out.
Sal sends her his sausage. She looks it over once or twice. Oh, it's too small for me. It's not worth that price.
That's something that no man ever wants to hear.
Yeah, Mrs. Cleaver's a bitch. All right. Oh, here comes Mr. Smith. He used to eat Sal's sausage every day. Sal is filled with excitement. Well, who wouldn't be? Get eaten every day. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He knows just what to say. Mr. Smith, how are you? Would you like some of my meat? It's so big and juicy and has just the right amount of heat.
Well, he's got the pitch down.
And I'm going to say Mr.
Smith.
He looks experienced. I'm just going to say.
He does.
He looks experienced. I don't know, Sal. I'm not really sold. Your sausage looks awfully shriveled. And frankly, rather old.
You know what, Mr. Smith? I would just like to say that your sausage probably looks shriveled and old as well.
Hey, with the right blue pill, it'd be just fine. Screw you, Sal yells. You don't deserve my meat. Get lost and get the heck off my street.
Oh, no.
I think there's a lover's quarrel there. I
I'm
truly feel.
I'm a little
Yes,
concerned.
Exactly.
It must be cold. Yeah, Ruth.
Sal is so angry. He feels like he could burst. Oh, wait, that's like Bob's Big Load. Hold on.
Yeah.
He needs to make some money. People just are the worst. Well, here comes someone new. Looks like it's Mrs. Teagan. She takes one look at Sal and asks, "Is your sausage vegan?"
No. No.
Of course it's not. My meat is made of meat. Where do you think you are? Some sort of yoga retreat?
Okay, that's kind of a valid question, actually.
Okay, she's kind of hot. I gotta say.
Well, she's Mrs. Somebody.
She's got a rack. I mean, she's good looking. She's good looking. She's good looking. She's a doer.
Hi, Joanne. Yes, welcome.
Sal has had enough. He's about to call it quits. Then up walks Sally Jane. Honk, honk.
With a rack.
She looks down in the pits.
Sally Jane.
I'd give her whatever she'd want.
I'm sure you would.
And twice on Sundays.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Sal. How's it going? I'm feeling rather down. Someone just stole my lunch. I really hate this town.
Oh, no.
Poor Sally Jane. She's crying.
And her bra doesn't work, but that's fine.
Let's give her a little help. Sally, you've come to the right place. I have the best sausage around. Do you want to try it? It weighs nearly a pound.
Well, that sounds like a meaty sausage to me.
Wow, Sal, I had no clue. Your sausage looks so nice. I would definitely like to try it. But what is the price? She's British, by the way.
All of a sudden, she just decided to be British.
I bet she's got a rack. Hang on. So maybe it's not British. Anyway, those don't look natural, though. So those are probably good.
They're pretty symmetrical. I'm
a good judge of that, by the way. I can pretty much tell. The best way to tell is if you just do a little, but that's me. It's on the house for you, Sally. Just tell me what you think. Give it a big bite and wash it down with a drink. Sally Jane, I'll give you 2. How's that sound?
Well, maybe she only wants one at a time,
The sausage suddenly got a lot bigger in her hand. I'm just going to say.
It did.
Oh, Sal, this is great. It might be the best meat I've ever had. Thanks for letting me try your sausage. I'm really, really so glad.
And again, she's just suddenly British.
Look at the bad teeth. No, thank you, Sally. You've given me more relief than you could know. I hope you come back soon, but for now, I've got to go.
Oh, now he's British too.
Oh my God, look at the size of the sausage in her hand.
And now all of a sudden it's like enormous.
Okay, that's for her, looks like about 3 bites. Yeah. I know Sally Jane here, and I'm sure she can handle that. She probably should be using both hands, frankly. And for all the Sals out there just trying to find someone to eat their meat. Okay, whatever. All right, the end.
Hold it.
NC.
But wait a second. But wait, there's more. Find out about all of Kenzie Maisling's adult parody books on Amazon.
Okay, so hold on. You guys tell me if any of these sound good.
I already know which one I
think. An upcoming one, okay?
Okay, I have a vote already.
She's got one called The Back Door. I have no idea what that is.
Kelly wants to know, did she swallow?
I would love to see her try. That would be pretty impressive. All the way down to that impressive. Yeah.
Okay, after The Back Door.
You got to loosen up the larynx, apparently, for it to go, all the way down.
Moving on.
Martha's field needs to be plowed.
Of course.
The next book is titled The Land of Beavers. The next one is Sally's Cucumber Patch. The next one is, I have a feeling I know what this is, Eating Out.
Mm-hmm.
You know a little something like that, don't you? Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. The next one is Bertha's Buns.
Okay.
The next one is Who Will Eat My Cookie? And the last one is Mrs. Scarecrow Gets Stuffed.
Okay.
So I think those are cute.
And Eve says there's a book coming to you next week.
Oh, thank you, Eve.
Thank you, Eve.
So hopefully you enjoyed story time.
She's like, just buy them all.
I gotta say, this one was not as impressive as some of the other ones, but she was trying to rhyme a little too much, but Who will eat my sausage?
But you wanted to know
That's
about
good.
sausage eating, so here we are.
Well, I think you know all about that.
God.
Why don't you tell the folks?
No, you really like sausage.
No,
more
you
than-
like to savor it before you.
You like sausage
consume
more
it.
than I do. I
Oh,
notice when we go to
no.
Brazilian, I never want the sausage, and you always want the sausage.
Well, it's because I'm a man about town. I mean,
It seems like we have a lot of people who would like the beaver.
How about the backdoor beaver?
The backdoor beaver. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Christine, I think eventually we'll be buying all of them. That's what I think.
Probably
we'll be
so.
doing.
Probably so.
All right, we have gone an hour and 41 minutes, Shayla. Back.
It's past my bedtime, y'all. I was asleep. Last night I was asleep by now.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We covered a lot.
We did. And
with no agenda, we covered a lot.
If you guys think of questions that you wanted to ask me, or if I missed something, bring it next week and I will answer. And I'm so excited that you came and spent your Wednesday evening with us. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending your time with us. I know you have other things you could be doing, but I love that you come and be with us.
What she said. We love you guys.
Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you next Wicked Wednesday.
Is there anything else going on? Or is that it?
I think that's it.
Think there's more?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any big announcements?
No.
Don't forget to sign up for the Branson thing.
Party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll post it in the beauties tomorrow as well. So anyway, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.